All right, so it's time for me to make my Herbalist Blend soap again. And this time I'm going to be harvesting some wonderful wild herbs. Well, I should say fresh herbs, not wild. We're going to start with thyme. Oh, one of my favorites. Oh, and this one smells delicious. It's just wonderful. In addition to the thyme, we're going to be adding some delicious fennel. And I've got some small bulbs here that I'll be harvesting to thin this out a bit. In addition, we're not going to be adding strawberries, but I do have some wonderful sage here. It's going to be just delicious. It smells wonderful and has actually some terrific medicinal qualities. The strawberries have been so prolific this year. They're just everywhere. They're just out on the ground. They have fallen down and kind of just taken over. And in addition, fresh rosemary. And of course, I've got over here, I have spearmint. So I'm going to be harvesting all of this, taking it inside, and making a wonderful decoction to put in our soap. So let's move inside and do that now. All right, so of course you've seen me use the mint before. Probably all of these herbs, all of these herbs I've used at one time or another. And I'm putting everything in here, just stems and all. Now the rosemary, because it's a little woodier, and some of the sage, I will pinch off the tips of those, just so I don't work the blender too hard. And these smell, there's nothing like herbs right out of the garden. Whether it be fennel, or the sage, or the rosemary, the mint, it's all just so delicious. And I just love putting it into soaps. To me, it adds something very special. All right. So with the rosemary, I'm just going to pull off the leaves and leave off those woody stems. We don't need those. So I do this rather like I do a cedar. I just slide my hand along it and pull off the leaves. Do this with cedar and pine, and it works very well. All right, so that'll be about all we need right there for this recipe. All right. So it's going to get a little noisy here, so I will mute the sound so you don't have to be a part of this. And there we have our delicious green herbs. Those smell great. So let me set this aside. I'm going to get this strained, And I'm gonna let it sit for a few hours and then get it strained, and then we'll get to making our soap. All right, so now we get to filter out all this goodness. Oh, it's kind of thick, so let me stir it a little bit. Let me see. It's real thick because of, well, all those herbs that are in it. It's puffed up too. See all that air? See if I can break that up a bit. I think I over blended it a bit, and so there's a lot of air bubbles in it. See all the air bubbles? So we now have our herb infused water, which is going to be a big part of this soap, in addition to the other herbs that'll be added into it. There we go. Delicious. I did want to show you all what I'm going to be using to color this. We have several different things here. I have elderberry wine that has been dried, and I've got a little bit of water in there to reconstitute it. I have Cromwell root, beetroot, wheatgrass, turmeric, and indigo. And these are going to be the colors in my herbalist soap that I'm about to make. And all right, so these are my frozen herbs, and they've darkened a bit, as they will do, but that's why I've got all the other colors that I'm going to be working with. So I'm going to start adding my lye in, and I have this in a double ice bath here. Whoop. That's why you wear gloves. I don't usually use this container for this, but I haven't had time to do my soap dishes. It's been really busy at work, which I'm not complaining about. There's so many people unemployed right now that I feel very fortunate to be working. So no complaints. All right, so I've got my oils and my butters ready here. And I'll turn down the volume while I mix in my herbs with my herb lye water with my oils. Oh my, look how that's thickening up. I better move quickly here. Oh my. side. And just see. You know what? This may end up being a splat, a kind of a camo type. We'll see. Oop, I didn't mean to throw that so close. Barry, hush. Sorry, everyone. Well, this is going to be interesting. We'll just have to see what it turns into. See you back in a bit for the unveiling. Hi, everyone. Okay, now it's unmolding time. And these can be a challenge sometimes. And I found the best way is just to push them from the bottom, like so. They're not as colorful, obviously. They darken quite substantially, which I always anticipate with herbs. This is always one of the darker soaps that I make, and that's because there are so many organic constituents in it. And that's just the nature of organics. You can see some of the variations of color there, but perhaps not as, showy as I would like it. I really would like them to be a little bit brighter. So I think, because I know what some of these things do, like the beetroot does darken. Now there's some nice variation there a bit. I didn't use dock this time, but dock is one of those things that really does. Oh, here, you can't see those very well. It's one of those that dock is not reliable when it comes to color. There, that one's got some interesting variation, but they're going to vary a little bit, but nothing too showy. These are one of my favorites to make, though, because they are made from things right here on the farm, and it's just a lot of fun for me. Now, it's one of the few soaps I make that generally doesn't have goat milk in it. Not that I couldn't. There are ways to actually get the herbs into milk, which is another whole process that I'll be sharing with you all very soon. Trying to get the rest of these unmolded here. And that's one of I love making goat milk soap, but I also love making other types of soap. All right. Almost. There we go. Okay, there we go. They smell tremendous. Even that that root oregano, or basil, any of those that can affect the tracing, which is why I always make sure I thoroughly get the lye incorporated before I add that, because if you don't, you can get a false trace and your lye will not be properly saponifying your oils, and you can end up with lye pockets and things like that. All right. All right, a few more here. So in the big storm, just a few tree limbs fell. No major damage here, thank goodness. Everything, the animals are all fine. I'm fine. So that was, it was a little bit of a scare, but nothing serious. All turned out, had a wonderful thunderstorm. Really loud, really bright, with a lot of lightning. I love those myself, and I know that's not for everyone, but I really do enjoy them. So there you have it, my Herbalist Blend, straight from Soapy Oaks Farm Soaps. Hope you enjoyed these. I had a lot of fun making them and sharing the process with you, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day, everyone. Oh, by the way, I have a clue. This is a clue about an upcoming video. What could it be? We'll talk again soon. Goodbye.